all of us African and the diaspora across the continent. Doesn't matter where you live, where you are, what continent you live to. We all get treated the same. Even if you're trying to be a pretendian, even if you're saying, I'm not African, I'm not black, don't call me black. Trust me, you get treated the same. Welcome to the inner struggle, the invisible chain with Fortan Zimbu. The trauma majority of us black people we don't recognize we have. Please like and subscribe. Now let's go to the video. But today we will only react on Kwame Ture. I love Kwame Ture. I love the way he breaks things. I think in this video he's gonna talk about Jesus, and I really wanted to react on this. He's gonna speak about Jesus, where Jesus come from, where Jesus went. He's gonna break down a couple of. He's gonna break it down really well. We're not really gonna watch the entire video because it's a little bit long. This conscious mind of a black person that break the chain that was in him and he got free. That's what we need, because we had a couple of conscious people that they are breaking from the invisible chain and the inner struggle. They understood the trauma and they said they're gonna help other blacks so we can wake up. And Kwame Ture, he's one of them, and I loved his work. So let's go.
It's great progress. You know, life is made up of two aspects, the material and the immaterial aspect of life. And of course, there's some material gains. There's more visibility, not much more power, more visibility. But the immaterial aspect is what we're more concerned with. Our people are more conscious today than they were yesterday. And this is a necessary element, especially for revolutionary struggle.
Conscious about?
Conscious about their responsibility, conscious about the backwardness of the capitalist system, conscious about their role to be played in it.
Responsibilities to themselves?
Well, to humanity in the first place, and consequently to themselves, yes.
What is the party that you represent? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
The All-African People's Revolutionary Party was founded by Kwame Nkrumah, and he was the first president of Ghana, led the anti-imperialist struggle there to liberate Ghana, and was later co-president of the People's Revolutionary Republic of Guinea, where I now live. The party seeks to organize Africans all over the world and to make their primary objective Pan-Africanism, which is the total liberation and unification of Africa under scientific socialism. The old slogan, which we've heard time and time again, is true: until Africa is free, no African anywhere will ever be free. Consequently, our task is, especially in the United States of America, to make Africans here responsible to Africa. You know, other ethnic groups in this country are responsible to where they come from. Italians have responsibility to Italy. These conscious Irish, the conscious ones, not the stupid ones who do a jig on St. Patrick's Day. Well,
I like it. See? Not a stupid one.
Suffering in Ireland, but the conscious one who support the struggle in Ireland against British imperialism. Oh, everyone, Poles are responsible to Polish, but we in America who are Africans, we seem to have nothing to do with Africa at all. As a matter of fact, some of us are even ashamed of it because of the backward education we've had.
You call all black Americans Africans, right?
That's what they are.
Okay. When you say...
I like that. I really love that. Did you hear that? He said they're Italian. They know about themselves as Italian. They're Irish, but not the stupid Irish, but the Irish that they understand the struggle of the Irish people against the England. Oh, that's the Irish that they put themselves as the Irish. There's two different. When it comes to us black people, because we don't really like to associate with ourselves as African. Even if they're African, they don't want to be African. And that's the problem we have in Africa. It's not just in America. Africa number one, Africa black. We don't want to associate with being African. And Kwame Ture said, even in in America, Malcolm X used to say this, we don't want to associate with being, we don't even want people to call us African. Even in now, 2026, Black America, they even come out with this. I call them, just like Dr. Umar Johnson called them, pretendian. They are pretendian. They want to be Indian America. Oh, we are the original. No, you look like African, you are African. So, no, I'm not denying that there was no blacks that, they immigrate before slavery, United States, before it was called United States. There was black, yeah, a little bit, not a lot, but Yeah, but you pretend you need to understand that you're African. We don't like. Look, I'm saying this because I seen it. Do you know how many black people I spoke to? Black African. I asked them multi time, where you from? Do you know what they said to me? I'm French. I'm thinking, I mean, where you from? Where you from? You're African, yeah? I am African, but I'm from Portugal. No, you're not from Portugal. You're African. You might hold Portugal passport or United Kingdom passport or French passport, but you're not French. No, you're not. You're African. African. And I've seen a lot of black parents of African, they came to European, they have the children in European country. They don't want to associate with the African. They don't want their children to associate with people like me. We're African. They don't even want their children to speak African language. We have trauma of everything. In Africa, we have trauma of everything. Tribe, language, religious, etc., etc. We terrible. When I see majority of us, we're trying to point finger to American black. Do you know the biggest trauma is not even in American black, is in black African. We African, me, and my other African. We are the biggest problem. The trauma is in us. Whew. Have an African child to a different country. Just if you're African parents, just do an experiment. Just go to China. Have a child in China as African. Have a child in China. That child is gonna think he's Chinese. Oh my goodness. Let's go, man. Let's go.
Say that they are not conscious, not responsible toward, not aware of, and maybe somewhat ashamed. Can you elaborate on that, and why do you think that that's so? Do you think some of it's just the geography, the distance?
Not at all. Not at all. It's a response. No, it's not at all. It's a consequence of a backward education. The education that is given, for example, just start with Tarzan on television. It makes it appear as if Africans are stupid and backward, as if they have no understanding even of their own terrain. And a European who comes from Europe knows Africa better than they do. He can speak the elephants, and they run from the elephants. You start from there, and you see all the portrayal of Africa. Even in the history books in the school, there's no contributions, none of Africa's great contributions. Africa's great contributions just in the area of religion, for example, Judaism began in Africa. Christianity flourished in Africa. And yet you have Africans in this country who are Christians, and they still believe that Jesus Christ was white.
I'm getting the drift of something you're saying, and I'm going to go back to the, the 60s, and the civil rights movement, that maybe a lot of the things that black Americans at that time focused on was well deserved and justified progress in a lot of social areas for themselves. But what you're suggesting is there never has been a time when people are focusing on their roots.
No, not exactly. The largest movement that even in America the Africans ever had was the movement of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, which was in the 1920s. And he had millions of members. He had more members than any other organization we've ever had, more than the NAACP, more than the Nation of Islam today. He's had more. And his slogan was simple: Africa for the Africans, both home and abroad. Of course, in the history books, there's nothing said about the Honorable Marcus Garvey. And when they do mention him, they make it appear as if he was somebody stupid, a fanatic, an escapist. But these are the facts. People understand this. It's just a question of politically educating them. They don't get this education. They hear nothing about Africa at all. And when they do hear something about Africa, it's usually very backward and very stupid.
What happened in your background that caused you as a teenager to...
Oh, damn, yeah, bro. Very backward and stupid. That's why people, they see us. It's true. When I sit down, I'm in my own world and reading or just writing something, my brain, when I start processing some of the book, when I'm reading, I'm thinking, my goodness, these white people, they think we're dumb. They will think we're idiot, we're imbecile, we don't know any better. We have no history. They see us as animal. We're stupid and backward. That's what they see us. And a lot of us black people, we don't understand this. We're just trying to fit in. Even if we have trauma in us, what we're trying to do, we fit in the disgracing way. People, they will spit on us, beat us, degrade us in so many ways possible. What we do, we just gonna be there. Take the humiliation as it is. And that's the problem with us black people, black African. This is the issue. And it's Education is really something that is very important that we need to try to push to our children, especially knowing your background, knowing your root is very important. Knowing your root.
Where do you make a decision to dedicate your right to civil rights? Your whole life?
Well, it's very difficult. I've been asked that question so many times. The only thing I could say is just seeing the suffering of my people. If you see your people suffer and you understand you have a responsibility, you must do something towards alleviating this suffering. But I think this is a natural responsibility for all men and women. There's no one particular to do this. But I've seen the suffering of my people and understood it's my responsibility to help alleviate the suffering. And still, they're still suffering, then my responsibility is still here.
Power to the people.
You went to school?
I remember, I think you're probably speaking about Montgomery, Alabama. But actually before, because of the work we were doing, we were organizers, and in the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, we had two wings, actually. One wing concentrated on mobilized activity against public-aided segregation, against public segregation. So they had a lot of sit-in movements, and the other wing directed its attention to voter registration campaigns in the Deep South, Mississippi, Alabama, and this is where I worked. Of course, our work was far more dangerous because here you had public demonstrations with people coming, but the work of organizers are quiet, slow, 2 o'clock in the morning, going on plantations, et cetera, et cetera. So for our very protection, we started carrying guns. Of course, it wasn't said publicly that we carried guns, but we carried them. But the situation really came to a head in Montgomery, Alabama. The Selma to Montgomery march was a vicious march. At that time, George Wallace was governor of Alabama, and he turned loose his state troopers. And they were real Nazis. They were terrorists. And I went to Montgomery on an assignment for the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee and was staying at a hotel, which we were using. It was a hotel owned by Africans there, which we were using as our headquarters. And the police came along and started locking all the doors, and they locked the doors to the hotels. I couldn't understand why. I was trying to get out. They wouldn't, so I was forced to go upstairs, and I think I went upstairs on about the 4th floor. And when I saw everything clearly, they had the whole posse on horseback, and they had the whole area blocked off, and they had demonstrations squeezed in, and they just rode and trampled them, and they just did whatever they wanted to do to them. And they had the whole area blocked off. The press wasn't there, and I was forced to look at this, just helpless. There was absolutely nothing I could do, absolutely nothing. There wasn't even a Coke bottle to throw at one of them, Mm-hmm. And when the rest of the SNCC people came, I was screaming at them. I told them, we don't want to hear this nonviolence. We need to kill some of these people right now. That's the only lesson, So they said I wasn't feeling well, that they should send me out of Montgomery. And they started to take me out to Montgomery, and we went to the airport. When I got to the airport, I saw some of these, state troopers, and tried to.
Majority of the police in America, they're all Klan member. All of them. It was created just to captive blacks and the Mexican, but majority of the police department was created over there in the States for the blacks. They're clans, criminal, thugs, all of them police department. Until this day, they are the biggest criminal ever. Listen to him when he's talking. Can you see all of that happen? And where the sample from the white people? There is none, zero. And all that happened. White people, they brush it like it did not happen. They don't care. They have no zero empathy when it comes to blacks. Lives of blacks, it means nothing to them. The sad part is when a black person is unaliving a white person, and that's when they're gonna be like, they can't be doing this to us, and you're forgetting what you've been doing to the blacks. And that's the issue. We always think white people, they forget what they done to blacks, black America, black African. We always think like they forget. No, that is all a game to them, is a manipulation way. They never forget. They know exactly what they're doing. And they know exactly what to trigger us. They know exactly how to hurt black people. White people, they are so conniving people. They are so dangerous. They bring chaos in people's life, and they trying to bring what? Peace after that. They create the situation. They're trying to bring they don't want to solve the problem, but they don't want done the mess. They don't want. Look at what happened in North Island. One immigration person did something. The entire fags of criminal, of white people, they start breaking house, burning car. The same thing they're doing. That's the same exactly they was doing in the 20s, 80s, 70s. You go, they was doing exactly what we're seeing right now. And tomorrow, what they're gonna do, they'll brush it like they didn't do, but they're only gonna focus in what we are doing. And that's dangerous. If we don't open our mind, we will never triumph over these people. Never. Because they lock us with the trauma that we have. We've been locked down. We're not free here. Dangerous people. Dangerous. That's what control us.
Well, of course, just tried to attack them. They restrained me, and I vowed after that this nonviolent demonstration stuff, forget it. These people don't understand this. It's effective, but its effectiveness has worn off now. It's time to use that tactic and call for some retaliatory action against them.
Do you think that was a course that a lot of people followed? Do you think it was a wise course?
Of course, people must fight using all means necessary. Some people get confused between Dr. King's position of only nonviolence and Malcolm X's position, any means necessary. For Malcolm, you can use nonviolence. It's only a tactic. Dr. King erred when he made nonviolence as a tactic a principle. This was his error. It's not a principle, it's a tactic. If it's effective now, fine. If it's not effective, then you use whatever is possible. If you can get your liberation by nonviolence, I don't know anybody who will not do it that way. But if you can get it through nonviolence, then it's stupid to say I'm not going to be free. Obviously, if you have to chuck hand grenades, chuck.
Show me anywhere in a history book what people, they took lands with nonviolence. Took the entire race of people with non-violence. Show me in a history book, even in their own history, like when kings, they come with non-violence, you'll find zero. Everything what people they do, violence is way there. Violence, World War I, World War II, all violence. People died like it was nothing to them. They create a problem, and at the end, they start saying, let's put peace, creating chaos. And they play all of us like an idiot.
The article I read that maybe it was not a smart thing for you. The biggest mistake, I think you said I ever made was to get involved in the Black Panthers, true?
No, I don't think it was a mistake. The circumstances of history forced it upon me. I may say that they were a big mistake, but I don't think it was a big mistake. I was forced upon it. Their, of course, lack of necessity of politically educating the people, their clear opportunist leadership, which has demonstrated itself in these recent years, certainly made that a mistake.
How do you mean opportunist?
Well, President Kwame Ture, who is the president of the People's Revolutionary Republic of Guinea, where I live, the leader of the African Revolution, he says that no man or woman should voluntarily take a task upon their shoulders, which they say is a task which is necessary for the people's happiness, and then before having completed the task, put it down. If you would look at many of the leadership of the Black Panther Party of the 1960s, they said that they came voluntarily to fight for the liberation of their people. They came to stop police terrorism. Well, they haven't stopped it, yet many of them have put this task down and have started to do other things. Clearly, this is opportunism on their part. If you decide to fight for the people's liberation and you say you're doing it voluntarily, then you must fight to the end. Well, we can answer your second question first. The only thing to do is that we must organize the people. The masses of the people are not organized, so their proper will cannot be expressed. We must organize them. Consequently, and of course, when we organize them, it means organize them for the overthrow of capitalism, because it is the capitalist system which is the problem. Reagan is not the problem. Reaganism is not the problem. No matter who you get in the president, they must do the same thing. The American capitalist system is set up in that manner. When you say capitalism, you mean war, W-A-R, war. The only way capitalism solves its crisis is through war. That's why America is involved in so many wars. So to put the problem with Reagan is to make an error. After all, he's just an actor. He just reads script. He knows nothing about economy. He doesn't, and he's not expected to know it. But he can read script well. So you shouldn't blame Reagan. It's the capitalist system. And this is an error that people make all the time. They think that if they change Reagan, things will change. Nothing will change unless we destroy the capitalist system. Consequently, to solve the problems of your second question, it's simply a question of organizing the people and overthrowing the capitalist system. That means, of course, the setting up of socialism, and we must understand it precisely. Your first question. Obviously, it is clear that I'm African. Africa is my home, and I must make contributions here. And this must be my primary occupation. I don't think I will ever come back to to America. You know, people said that the Honorable Marcus Garvey had a Back to Africa movement, but he never called it a Back to Africa movement. Those are journalists. We say Marcus Garvey had a Forward to Africa movement, and consequently, when we go forward, we cannot come back.
Yeah, this is John. I'm calling from Long Island, New York. I knew Stokely back in PS 83 and Bronx High School of Science. And I wanted to ask him, one, I wanted to tell him that the years have been kinder to him than to me. Also, what does he see down the road for my children, and if he has children, his? I am white. I'd mention my last name if he thinks he'd remember it.
Well, it's good to know from you. That's a long way to go all the way back to PS 83. Well, I see a better world for both your children and for my children, a much better world. We make progress. It's slow, but we make progress. And once humanity has made progress, they cannot be forced backwards. So I see, of course, constant progress, better civilization.
We'll take a shot. What's your last name?
Ashby.
Ashby.
John Ashby.
John Ashby.
You went to science also, huh?
No, I went to Mount St. Michael at that time, but if you remember the student council election, 7th grade.
All right. Was he active back then, too?
Yes.
So, we were both young at the time, you know.
I was vice president of student council in the 8th grade and was an all-Italian school just about.
As if you remember, I helped get you elected. I was your manager.
Ah!
Is that right?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, I hear you.
John Ashby. Okay, terrific to have you
You
call
know what
in.
my slogan was?
What was the slogan?
The Stokey.
Okie dokie, vote for Stokely.
Is that right?
That's right. You got it.
Terrific. Good to have you called. Thank you.
Thank you. Good to have you.
Hi there, you're on PBS Late Night.
Yes, this is Angie from Inkster. I'd like to ask a question. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad talked of getting at least 5 states in the South for black people to separate themselves from Caucasians. I was wondering if you could address that and the move that he said back to Africa. I'm specifically speaking of the problems that some blacks have in terms of getting employment. Well, many blacks have in terms of getting employment. And one of the ways that maybe could be alleviated, that they could spend some time in Africa using some of the skills that they may have.
Well, I don't want you to assume that we can go to Africa and find jobs easily there, or that life is going to be better. Not at all. Life is more difficult there than here. Obviously, Africa has been raped by all the imperialist powers in Europe, by France, by Britain, by Germany, by Italy, by Portugal, etc., etc. Her labor and her wealth has been stolen by America, so consequently, her position economically is not a very strong one at this time. Consequently, those of us who look towards going to Africa must understand that we're going to sacrifice. We're going to make sacrifices. And unless we're prepared to make those sacrifices, we will make a big mistake. I'm not quite sure, however, I understand precisely your first question. I'm not quite sure the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has ever precisely stated 5 states in the South. No, I have heard him say that we need a land of our own. We must get some land. But he's never precisely stated it to be the 5 states in the South. I may be incorrect, but I don't think so. Other groups have. The Communist Party, USA, of course, came out with this theory in the 1930s called the Black Belt Theory. And today, the Republic of New Africa also upholds it, and other groups. But I don't think the Honorable Elijah Muhammad ever specifically said that. He did always say he was very strong on land and the need for land, and that Allah would provide us with some land. But I'm not sure he ever specified the 5 states in the South. Of course, our party, the All-African People's Revolutionary Party, recognizing that Africa is our home, could not give up Africa for anything less than that.
I'd like him to elaborate on the statement he made earlier about Jesus not being white. And secondly, I saw Eldridge Cleaver at NYU. He spoke for an hour and a half, and generally what he said was he denounced communism. I'm wondering if he thinks Eldridge Cleaver sold out to get back into this country.
Okay, who are we talking with?
I'm Stuart from New York City.
Okay, Stuart.
Your first question. If you would read the Bible, Stuart, you would see that the very first country mentioned in the Bible is Ethiopia, Genesis 2, verse 13. Depending upon the version of the Bible you have, this Ethiopia might be spelled Cush, C-U-S-H, or Cush, K-U-S-H. If you will look quickly at an authoritative source, you will see Cush, whether it's C or a K, is the ancient name for Ethiopia. If you will read properly the Bible, Europe is not mentioned in the Bible until the very end. If you know the slightest thing about the life of Jesus Christ, you will know that when Jesus Christ was in trouble, it was to Africa his mother took him. It was there that she hid him. For 10 years, he grew there physically, spiritually, and morally. If you would look properly at the life of Jesus Christ, you will see that he never saw Europe. He never saw it. His disciples never saw Europe. The religion of Christianity was spread to Europe by the apostles who came long after the disciples. Not only that, it took 400 years after the death of Jesus Christ for Christianity to be consolidated in Europe. 400 years after his death. If you would look properly, you would see the first church in the world was in Africa. The first monastery in the world was in Africa. The very intellectual development of the church was a result of Africans. St. Augustine ain't nothing but an African. Consequently, when we say Jesus Christ is not white, we mean exactly that. He could be just about any color, but the one color he definitely could not be is white. As a matter of fact, if you will do the slightest research, this white Jesus that you see they have hanging everywhere is nothing but the uncle of the artist who painted the picture.
Heaven and all that business.
Yes, but that's
He's not in Europe, man.
No.
That's not Europe. That's right, Palestine and Africa. It's not. Jesus Christ never went to Europe. He never saw it.
Right.
If he did, of course, there's some question as to whether or not he died on the cross. After his death, some people say he didn't die, and after his death, he might have gone, but he certainly never went to Europe while he was preaching. He never saw it, neither did his disciples. And he spent 10 years, and even in the Bible says that he had hair like the wool of a lamb. That's what the Bible says. He could not be white. It's impossible, and Christianity did not grow up. Christianity is not authentic to Europe. It's not. It entered Europe from the outside. As a matter of fact, one of the bloodiest histories that mankind has ever seen was to consolidate Christianity inside of Europe. Here's where you had the gladiators, men fighting lions, and everything possible to crush it. I'm so sorry. Christianity, all religions, of course, all religions come to make men and women live better lives. That's what they come for. That's their task, their responsibility. If Elridge Cleaver is a Christian, then to me, one cannot be a Christian and not fight injustice. Jesus Christ went into a well, violated the Sabbath day to take a lamb out of the well. I cannot see how Christians can see injustice and not fight it. If Elridge Cleaver is a Christian, then he must indeed be fighting against injustice. Not only that, if he knows anything about Christianity, the very beginning of Christianity was communal. It was communalism. If you will read the Apostles' Acts in John, you will see here they tell the people when they join the church to sell all your goods and come and live with everybody in a communal manner. To have, and if you see all their food, even the story of Jesus Christ being able to feed the multitudes with fish and 5 loaves of bread. This is nothing but communism, bringing all of them together and among themselves what they have equally sharing it. So consequently, even the very beginnings of the church is based in communism. When he says that he uses Christianity against communism, he has neither a comprehension of Christianity nor of communism.
The best thing sometimes is just to listen. Listen every day. Even if something that you already know, multi-time, and something there is gonna click that you said, I missed that. How did I miss that? But now it's sunk into your head. For young black men and female, for us to give them education, all we need to do is lay the tape of the old leader that came before us, let it roll. So a young man and female, they can listen over and over and over, and it's gonna guard them. It's gonna give them something that they never had before. And it's our job. Listen to what Kwame Ture said to the lady. He said, I cannot do this alone. Keep telling them. Keep telling them. We cannot let our brothers and sisters to be lost. We are lost. All of us, we are lost. But it don't mean we have to shut up about it. We need to speak so we can be free here. Liberation of body and mind and soul. That's what Same Kimbangu said. He was born in Congo. I am here to liberate black people of mind and soul and body. And it is us all to do the work so we can help ourselves and others. So like and subscribe. And that's the mess for today. I'll catch you guys to the next one. Peace.